They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. Isn't our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. Isn't our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your co-host, Brother Dean, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Walaikum assalam. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nima Abdullah Hassan. Welcome back to New Freedom February. It's been a little minute, a little while, so Hope everyone is doing well on this Saturday evening. I hope everyone got a chance to have a great Saturday and have a great Jummah or a great Friday yesterday. If anyone is watching and listening from wherever you are in the States or international, let us know. Give us salams. Let us know where you're listening in from so we can shout you out as always. And also, if you are watching, please share. Please share the live stream and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, New Freedom Exchange, New Freedom Network, and also like our pages as well. So, yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's been a while. Everyone looks bright faces, shiny faces.
It was a week ago. We just saw you guys a week ago, man. We had the chef on over a little week ago.
It's a once a week, but
I know how I feel. You know what I mean.
It's a little gap in time, but inshallah, we'll do it what we do. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good. Today was, it's interesting. These past couple of weeks, I guess weeks and months, we had a lot of the pioneers, pioneers in our community returning to Allah. So, that just brings you into a space of valuing life, but also valuing the lives that they lived and the things that they did in their respective communities. I know today here, I'm in Jersey City, but I'm connected to the Newark community. And so today we had janazah for Brother Edward Wadud. And yesterday we had Sister Stephanie McMean. And, days before that we had Imam Jammy. So it was just back to back to back. That it just feels like, I need a little rest, but it also reminds you of the value of life. And I'm always motivated in those times to sort of take account and inventory of like what it is that I'm doing to be impactful in the time that I have, because we don't know how much time is left. But other than that, everything is all good.
Yeah, Brother Wadud, may Allah forgive him his sins and grant him the paradise. He was the oldest community member that we've had in 95.
I think 94. I saw somebody post 95, but I think he might have been 94. But either way,
he was the oldest pioneer in our community. I don't, Brother Nader Ali, who was 91, I thought he was the oldest, but apparently he was not. He is not. So we ask Allah to forgive him and to award him with paradise for the work that he put in the community to establish Al-Islam in Newark, New Jersey. Dean, how was your week?
A week, a whirlwind. Same here. In transit, traveling. We were in Newark yesterday. We were Masha Ashifah. It was good to see the imam there in their community. Took us on a little, I would say, a visual tour, like a visioning tour. He gave us some of the backdrop of their project there. They're building up Masha from the ground up. He gave us some of the challenges they've been having the last few years. And they're also looking to build a 6-story housing development as well as some commercial development. And so, again, he mentioned the same concern about, the time and, our limited time, and, him and his assistant, they're all over 65. And they're looking for the next generation to, find their place and make their contribution in this work that we all share. And then, fortunately, today we were able to participate in what they call Imam and Youth Conference, which is very interesting because, I go to a lot of different conferences, conventions and stuff in our community, and I've been to quite a few of other different Muslims in America. But this one was a little unique in the sense that it's in a place where they have like a full model community down here. And it was very nice to meet some of the young people they have here. And they're also aware of, the contributions of African-American Muslims and, trying to bridge the gap and work together. And that ties into some of the projects that we're doing with the Model Masjid projects and other things. So like Sister Marcia said, while we do see a group of people that are transitioning, we also see new life coming, new connections coming for a better future. So how about you, Imam Bilal?
Yes. Like Dean said, we were guests the South Ward of Newark yesterday with Imam Akil Mateen of Masjid Ash-Shifa United Muslim Inc. It was a wonderful time being with the believers there, and he did take us out to have a meeting with him to go over some of the project, or the major project they're building, which is the masjid, as you said, the new masjid, and also the student businesses and the housing unit over the land that they own. The Muslims own the land. So that is a plus. So now the land needs money so we could finish the development process of the land. So we will talk more about that in the coming days, inshallah, as we bring Imam Akil Mateen on. And inshallah, you'll learn more about the capital fundraising campaign that they will be embarking on to raise the rest of the capital needed to finish breaking ground and finish going up and putting the finishing touches on the masajid and inshallah the housing and the units and the businesses. Other than that, I have been busy as normal. One of the things that I would like to share real quickly here before we bring on our guests is something that was shared in the mentoring session that I direct here in Queens. One of the special guests who we have on, shared about time and how time, we don't get back the hours. So as it right now is 7:14, the show ends at, say, for instance, 8 o'clock. That's an hour gone. And how do we utilize that time and be the most efficient with our time as much as we can while we're here in this earth, So as Sister Marcia was mentioning about, as the believers transition to the next fit life, it is just a reminder of time and how much time we have, which is predetermined by the Creator, by Allah, by God. So we don't really have much time, although we think we do. We think we're busy, but are we busy being productive and not wasting time? So that's what I want to leave with, is how much efficiently are we using our time?
Excellent. So we got some returning guests on the New Freedom Network, but they haven't been on New Freedom Exchange. One of the guests is the producer of the New Freedom Talks, or New Africa Talks. New Freedom Talks might come sometime. New Africa Talks. And then they also have Sister Kalimah on as well. So I think we're going to read her bio.
Yes, Sister Marcia can read Sister Kalimah's bio, sure.
Absolutely. Kalimah Azeez Rashada is a native of Chicago, Illinois. She was born and raised Muslim into a strong and beautiful family in the community of Imam W.D. Muhammad. At the age of 13, Kalimah was chosen by Imam W.D. Muhammad to be one of 12 students to participate in his weekend youth dawah class. During this class, Kalimah diligently studied Quranic Arabic, Islamic studies, and comparative religion for the last 8 years of Imam Muhammad's life. In addition to Kalimah's love and passion for the religion of Al-Islam, she has a great interest in psychology and education. She studied social psychology and strategic communications at Northern Illinois University. Kalimah takes her love and understanding of the religion of Al-Islam and shares it through many mediums such as teaching, urban planning, art, poetry, lectures, and writing. In 2009, Kalimah taught second grade at the Claire Muhammad School located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The following year, she moved to Senegal, West Africa, and was instrumental in the opening of Iqra Bilingual Academy with members of the United Nations. In 2016, Kalimah married Naeem Rashada and moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where she works for the local government and sits on 6 different boards throughout the county. Kalimah wants nothing more than to see her people uphold the covenant that God has given them and liberate the world from the schemes of Satan. She tirelessly works and spends of her wealth and human capital to be a catalyst to bring about God's will here in the United States of America. She currently works on strategies for community development, business, and education using teachings of Imam W.D. Muhammad to help advance our community.
Wonderful. Without no further ado, let's bring on our dear beloved sister, scholar, and now actress, Sister Kalimah. Can bring her on. Walaikum assalam. Welcome. Alhamdulillah. Good to have you here, sister.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, look who popped in. Do we need to read Brother Hakim Sabree's? Let's read his bio. Let's read our beloved brother's bio. Let me see. Let me read Brother Hakim Sabree.
Oh, my
Brother
bad. I
Hakim,
did the pre-drum. Let me pull him
yeah,
out of here. Let me pull him out
yeah,
of
pull him
here.
out.
Go ahead. Give him his pride.
Brother Hakim Sabree is a Muslim African American. He was born the second of 7 children to Charles and Mary Jackson. His parents joined the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the mid-1950s in Harlem, New York. In 1975, his mother and his siblings made the transition into Al-Islam proper under the leadership of Imam Warafuddin Muhammad. Hakim's education began at Muhammad University Islam up until its closing. Hakim graduated from the High School of Arts and Design, where he majored in art and advertising. He received his associate's degree from the New York City Technical College under the same majors. In his later years, he and his brother formed 2 dawah groups called Muslims for a Moral Revolution and New Africa Intelligentsia. Hakim was a member of Masjid Taqwa wa Jihad in the Bronx, where he held various positions: general worker, assistant to the resident imam, security, programs director, board member, assistant treasurer, secretary, street dawah team member, and Islamic studies teacher and guidance counselor for the Sister Kalimah School Weekend School. He also wrote event articles for the Muslim Journal newspaper. Hakim and his older brother Mustafa formed the Sabree Brothers LLC, an independent entertainment production company focused on producing original scripts for movies and plays that center on the improvement of the life of the African American people by utilizing the sacred Quran, the life example of Prophet Muhammad, the last prophet scripture, and the insights of Imam Warafuddin Muhammad, and the best expressed principles of the golden age of Hollywood and television. The company produced a few experimental in-house film shorts such as The Courage of a Few, Freedom for Fear, and The Good Conspiracy. They produced a play titled The Centennial and The Showman. They are presently in pre-production for the latest play, Behold the Phantom Light. Hakim is a student at the Mali and the Quran Studies and Leadership Institute. Hakim is an independent actor, writer, and student illustrator. Without no further ado,
Had to put some respect on his name.
All right, that was a lot.
Welcome.
Good to have you both on. And this is going to be a very great conversation. So, of course, I would like to transition and allow Sister Marsha to kick us off here with a question, and then we'll go like that.
Sure. And so for me, I'm always interested in, starting the conversation off with what we're here to discuss and like why that's so important. And so I know that Brother Hakim, there is this new production that you have coming out. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about that and why it was important for you to start this venture.
Yes. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes. First of all, thank you again for having the show. Thank you for that comedic entrance, Mujahideen. It's only fun. Yes, we feel it is important because, it's really always important because really the group picture of our people, the African American people, isn't complete yet. Our identity isn't complete yet. What's pressuring us or is putting pressure on us is moving us in various directions. We just want to be one of the people that Allah uses, inshallah, to help guide our people to where we believe as Muslims is the destiny for our people, especially where we believe as Muslims in this association of Imam W. Muhammad. There's a verse in Quran that says, Allah says, I am a worker, meaning himself, work you in your places. And in the Bible, Moses struck the rock and 12 springs sprung out, and all the leadership of the Jews or children of Israel at that time knew where they were supposed to have their interest at. So it's a sign to tell us that everyone has their unique ability that Allah blessed you with, and you should lead with that ability. So what we wanted to do is, because we believe our talent is in storytelling, acting, so forth, we wanted to contribute to the cultural part of our people and give them, I would say, an alternative to what's been presented to them now, even in the past, but more so now, as an image, as a direction, as a hope, as a tradition for our people's expression, and also as a competition. You know, sometimes we kind of pull ourselves out of competition because we're not where everyone else is. We figure, you know, we don't have the means and wherewithal yet, so we shouldn't be involved in it. But we feel the opposite. You know, we believe what Allah blessed us with, specifically with Imam W.D. Muhammad, though they may know him as Wallace D. Muhammad, son of Elijah Muhammad. His unique contribution to the insight of many things, scripture, America, the worldview. We think we have that on our side to help us make a distinction. So in what we are presenting, Imam Muhammad said, I'm paraphrasing, I don't have the exact quote, but he did say, one of the most effective dawah tools that we have now is through the culture. He says not so much speeches and talks, but it's through the culture, because that's what is prevalent and has the biggest influence on everyone, specifically our people. And because our people, African Americans, are the main influence on the world culture. You know, people can say what they want to say about other cultures. The African American is the top. Our dilemma is that we're not in the lead of leading our own influence. People are using our influence to make their positions more steadily, more grounded, and further their, you know, traditions and their ideas. But they use us for it because they know we're the special, let's say, people in the world. So I guess I said to say all this, that we think our contribution to helping our people realize the group picture that needs to be shown, we can do it. Our contribution is through performing arts. And we think the play is right up that alley, specifically what the play is focusing on.
So great. That's a great segue into my question is, if we could talk a little bit about this play, and a little bit about it without spoiling it, obviously for everyone. A little bit about the play and how Sister Kalimah. So first, Hakim, if you could talk a little bit about the play, and then how Sister Kalimah, if you could chime in about how did you get involved with the play and your role in the play?
Yes, we well, I mean, again, it's to say we can't say too much about it because it's I'm sorry, we have to keep it a little vague, but it is
It's okay, I love it.
It is a 2-act play, 2-person play, and it is about an individual with special abilities that has a specific mission in the world, and he's set on that mission until something comes in its path or his path that has to have him not second guess, but it kind of alters his mission. And well, you'll see what it is. But anyway, it's we set it at a time where, because I realize we're gonna have to mention this too in the I guess the preliminary before the play comes. The time set is not present, not past, not future. It we took a page out of, I guess, the writer's philosophical handbook, and we looked at, a time where you can do certain things and make it believable. Like, well, I can say this: it's the time exists in between the dream and awake state, between the dream and awake state, or between darkness and right before the light exists in between that time. And between that time, no one really knows, what can be accomplished. But it'll be more explained later on. I'll get a clear picture. But basically, that's the time it exists, and that's why whatever's happening in the play can happen. We didn't want to go the mutant route, the alien route, all those other things, which is excellent. John Byrne, Jack Kirby, all those ideas, Rod Serling, they have excellent, ideas. We wanted to go a little different. We wanted to tap into what our religion and what religious or scriptural ideologies come into play. And that's one thing about the play. It will have scriptural references, mythology references, African-American history references, American references, world references. But I think our unique thing is that it has a unique touch with looking at scripture that no one else I could say really has put into play as Muslims. I'll just leave it at this: the Jews have done it to a degree, and they're right now. They are the top at it. They've been the top at it since they started. The Christians haven't caught up. The Muslims haven't caught up. Till now. I'll leave it at that.
Excellent. I hope everyone can still hear me. Is there still echo?
No, you're good. You're good now.
Okay, great. Alhamdulillah. Sister Kalimah, how did the scholar now become an actress? How did you enter this realm?
So alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum again to everyone. This is exciting. So I've always been an actor. You can ask anyone who's known me. Mujahideen, I've always enjoyed the theatrics. Since I was young, my mother had us saying poetry, acting at family reunions. I've been in every play in Chicago that the Muslim community has put on. So at the weekend schools, when we did Adam, I think I was one of the angels. So I have always been into acting. And I actually took acting a little bit further in grammar school, high school, and even in college, because I did a lot of competitions where I was speech competitions, but I did monologues, I did poetry, so things of that nature. So I enjoy that. I also write poetry and perform as well. So when Hakim and the Sabree production put out this casting call for the play, I'm like, the Muslim brothers making a play. I want to be a part of this. And so when I began engaging the script, and like you said, he's taking a unique approach to writing and expressing our history as African Americans in a scriptural way, but including and I don't want to say sci-fi, because if you read Islam or you read the Quran, or if you're a religious person and you believe in the unseen and you believe they would say the religion is sci-fi in a sense. But so I mean, taking it, this religious concept, this religious presence, this high science from Imam Warthaddin Muhammad, and put it into a script that we have to enact and express and leave an impression on the hearts and culture of America. I'm like, yeah, I like that. I like that. And so I auditioned for it, And I posed at the end of my audition. I said, they said, "Do you have any questions?" And I said, "No, but I want to make a statement." I said, "What makes me stand out from other people that you're going to audition?" And I want to, if you would have answered that question, asked me that question, I'm going to present you that answer. And so my response was, one, I embody what you're trying to do in a way that is unique. You're taking the language of Imam Wahdi Muhammad. You're taking scripture. You're taking the African American experience, and you are creating a beautiful script. And all of those things are the essence of who I am. I sat there and I studied Imam Wahdi Muhammad. I took his language and I embodied it. And then my love for this religion, I took that and I tried to embody it. So then my love for acting. So that puts me top shelf as the auditioner. And so I said, I leave you with that. And I guess that worked, because here I am.
Yes, yes. And so for me, listening to both of you, right, I'm so excited about the fact that we even have like filmmakers in the community, and we have actors and actresses in the community, because I think that sometimes, there, especially with Al Islam, right, there is this impression that we are like, so yes, we are different and unique, right? And so there are things that we don't do that other people do, and we sort of curb, certain actions and behaviors and all of that in comparison to the larger community. But we're still talented, right? And we're still creative, and we still have this visions in this realm. And so it's exciting for me to even know that this exists. And I hope for our viewers and our listeners that, this sort of like sparks some energy into you. Because at this point, I'm like, even though we're vague about, the details of it, I'm just like, well, I want to see it. And so I'm interested to know, like, once this production is done, like, how will we see it? How will we be able to connect with it? And then the part two to that is, what are you expecting people to come away from it with?
Right now, we're looking at many different ways. Most likely, it's going to be, well, we can tell you, it's because it's a play, and I'm not sure if the mandates of COVID, whatever it is, going to be lifted or not lifted, and vaccines and stuff like that. So it will be in the theater. I know in New York, they're still keeping up the vax. If you're not vaccinated, you can't come to the theater type thing. But even if you do, I don't know about the seating and stuff. So, but anyway, what we want to do is shoot it like a teleplay. So we already contacted the brother that's going to do the work. So it will be shot as a play, but streamed. So it will be streamed, so everybody doesn't have to try to show up. It's going to be a one day thing right now. We were looking at. We wanted to have it in February, but right now we've been rewriting. I don't know so much rewriting for 5 years. So and she can tell you anytime we turn around, here's a new script. Here's a new script. Here's a new script. Here's a new script. So it will be streamed and live, and we're trying to see if we can get some way. I'll be talking with y'all about that anyway, New Video Exchange, because one thing we have to always do is support our own and show our venues through our own. We're not looking at having it anywhere else outside of our own. We're going to keep it strictly through African Americans, and that's the blessing of this production. And so far, our costume designer is an Muslim African American in our community. The person doing the filming and audio, Muslim African American in our community, from my experience growing up in the Nation of Islam till now. The person designing some of the props in there, Muslim. One of my best friends from high school. We're gonna have artists drawing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna try to do different. Not just the players. You come see a play. Here's a booklet and go home. We're gonna try to do various different things with the play. that'll make it different, and then have a segue to other venues and other opportunities for the play. What was the second question again?
What do you envision that people will come away from this, seeing the play?
Yes, I believe they will come away with seeing a new appreciation for us as African Americans competing on. I'm without being on a higher level of language and a focus. I kind of notice, even though we say, and I do believe it, we love our plays, our playwrights, different writers. But I keep getting the feeling, even when I hear our actors and actresses talk, when they get into Shakespeare, that's like, the holy grail of, using their language, of plays and writing. Even some screenwriting scripts. We say, I believe we do love our own, but I believe in the back of our head, we still think this, but this can't compete with. This is not as precious as. And we look at that and say, if we didn't have Imam Muhammad, I'd probably think the same way. And no disrespect to Shakespeare, love it, excellent. The language, just recently, I wouldn't have did it. It's a Scottish-Irish, it's a Scottish-English play, Macbeth. Just one line from the play. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Excellent. All the lingo. I haven't heard from us anything that really matches that impresses us as actors and actresses, like we say we're impressed. So, God willing, I think with this, as Sister Kalimah mentioned, because of the scriptural nuance, the way we're taking the scriptural language, the way Imam Muhammad has made it so simple to permeate through cultural language, they'll appreciate that. And I'll end with this. We did it. My brother's the real writer. I shouldn't say real writer. He doesn't like me saying that. The head writer, main writer. We have a saying. I think I told you. I'll write something. I'll give it to him. I say, now turn it into wine. Meaning he gives it the spirit. We had the play we did. The experimental film we did. The Courage of a Few, and we noticed that the actors there said, from reading it, like, wow, I never read anything like this before, and you could tell by the way they read it that the scripts and the acting roles that they were getting were nowhere near what our writing was. It's not bragging, but we kind of know what's out there, because most of us, even the ones that know, the African Americans that know it, they kind of compromise to get their stuff across. So even if they are brilliant writers, most of them don't come out because they try to, they wait for the festivals and stuff like that. And the festivals have a certain idea that they want to have across. If you don't fit that context, you can't put the film in there or the play in there. So they kind of, dumb down their own thing to get in that. But we're not trying to do that. We have the what do you call it? I'm going to say spirit. Well, it's a spirit to just go with what we know, and we believe that's going to compete against whatever they have out there. So we think they're going to take away, we think we're going to go away having an appreciation for a new language that can compete with the language of the past and present. When we do our writing, we're competing with the tops, Rod Serling, Mamet, and even Shakespeare. Shakespeare, that's it, because that's it for everybody else. So if we can't compete with Shakespeare, we shouldn't be coming out. That's my position.
I don't always top Shakespeare.
Well,
they had connected with the prophet, and then they were coming up with all these, and then he come out, he just say, "Well, Asr," and then say, "Oh," So when you're coming from that premise, Hakim, we can compete.
Alhamdulillah. That's great. And so, Bilal, feel free to jump in. But I have another question in terms of so you mentioned, Hakim, COVID, obviously, right, is in the middle of all this, and putting it together and planning for it to be out in the public. And so I'm wondering for the both of you, like what your experience was even preparing for this, pulling together. How do you prep for this? And I think the sisters in Tennessee, you're in New York. How does that even come to be? And we're in the pandemic.
Well, I'll let her go and then I talked enough.
So Allah's merciful. He allowed us to create technology. So in the gap of the COVID insanity, we still have things like technology, which will allow us to still meet and prepare for this particular play. But on a higher level, the fact that we are in COVID and it's almost like a drought in not only our community, in the world for cultural expressions, for things like that. Everyone's sitting around waiting on their favorite artist to come out with a new song because it's like everything is dead. So for us to come out with this during this time has a different impact as well, because we are in a drought. We're in a spiritual drought. We're in a cultural drought right now. And we're kind of in a state of triage for the human family. We're just trying to keep us alive in a sense. And so here you come out with a unique language. Here you come out with a unique perception for the people that they can, reflect on and understand during a time when they're searching and needing a glass of water. So it's a beautiful situation in a chaotic time.
Yes, agreed. Yes, it's like you said, it's definitely. I thank Allah. We were able, like you said, create technology to help. It is a challenge because, like I'm used, we're used to physically being in the same spot, so it does have its challenges because you don't get the whole spirit of what's being conveyed, until we get into the actual physical same place. So we're hoping to get to that closer to the date. Like I said, I forgot to mention, we're trying to, like I said, we tried to have it in February. Then we thought about Juneteenth. Then we said, let's try to do something that we do. So I remember Sharif Abdul Malik, We Buy Blacks, mentioned New Africa August. So I said, hey, that's a cool time to come out, different. Nobody's around, come out during that time. So inshallah, we're going to try to do it in New Africa August. Again, the writing stuff is cool. It's eating, to each other's house, writing it. So that's not a major problem. But the actual, lines over script, you're sitting down, you're doing things that you can't move around. And so, some stuff my brother reminds me, well, when this is acted out, it'll be more, because I'm like, that doesn't sound too good. Let's cut that. So no, when it's acted out, oh, right. So, that kind of pushes me back a little. But, as she said, there is a drought of stuff in our environment that we need to answer. And I think, like I said, the play is going to answer it. Being prepared, and like I said, is another thing. For my part, I had to. I was looking at, because the character is in the realm of, he's not, but he is in the realm of, like you would say, like a superhero figure. So my mind just went to, okay, I'm looking at all, everybody, and they got to work out and do it. And not that I'm going to wear a big, I'm not wearing a, tight suit. I'm just saying, I never like, I never like when people, it's like, if you're doing a superhero, do the superhero. So, my thing has just been, it's easier now because we're in the house just working out. So I've been able to just, work out and share, just, and finding out different things about health and stuff like that, and physical workout and stuff. So that helped a lot, and then learning about, okay, how actors actually got fit, like, so, so you're not going to get, certain ways without certain help.
Right.
But alhamdulillah, so again, we just have a lot of help with our getting ready for the part, taking a lot, studying different things, and things of that nature.
like to say that we are at the halfway point of the show, and at this point, station identification for those who are just watching, just tuning in. We are New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment / development. I am here, Imam Bilal Hassan, with the beautiful program director and co-host Sister Marsha, along with co-founder of the Sabree Brothers LLC, Brother Hakim Sabree, and also scholar, actress, Sister Kalimah Azeez Rashada is with us, and we're talking about the play that they're coming out with, Behold. Yes, we want to behold the Phantom Light, which will be coming out, inshallah, God willing, we want to say in August, New Africa August, so stay tuned for that. I'd like to ask a question, and this is very important. I think Sister Rashada, you touched upon it about the cultural drought, or the drought that we're in right now. We are in the serious spiritual, moral decay, cultural decay, and we're singing music and entertainment, and just the whole entertainment field is full of just garbage. Like 99.5% of it is garbage. Where do you all see where do you see yourselves playing a role in inspiring future playwriters, and future actors and producers? Where do you all see yourselves in the grander scheme of promoting moral excellence in the entertainment industry?
So that's a good question. Really interesting. Hakim touched on it a little bit before. Before Imam Muhammad passed away, he actually informed us that he was getting into writing science fiction and fiction books. He said one of the reasons for him going down that path, he said, because we have to influence the culture. The culture gets to the individual quicker than a lecture. You know, if I put it in a good song with a trendy beat, and I talk about we have to be upright, you know, I have that kid, yeah, I gotta be moral, and then I got a rapper out there handing out food to homeless and talking about that influences society quicker than imam or a scholar saying, let's go and sit at a round table and discuss religion. So Islam has a position to influence the culture. And so I used to have a program called DOC. I used to call myself the doctor, and it's defining our culture. So we have to be doctors in defining our culture, because it is through our culture that we heal. And we have always, African Americans have always, Hakim said, have always been the number one influencers in culture. That's kind of like, what do we bring to the world? We bring the spirit of the culture. Everyone follows hip hop culture. I'm all the way in Spain, and I see hip hop culture. I'm in Morocco, and you see this African American culture. Unfortunately, has not been the best expression of culture. It has been a degraded expression of culture. It has been our struggle that, like Imam Muhammad was saying, even when we talk like, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's because we were kept out of education. And so they took our hurt of not being able to be educated, not having to speak with broken English and things like that, and they made it a culture. So everybody wanted, well, man, we want to talk slang. They made it popular. But we didn't like that, because if you went to any African-American home, your mama tell you, boy, speak right. Don't say y'all and ain't. That ain't it. So that wasn't even what we wanted for ourselves, but they made it popular. So it is important that we have a conscious, intentional design, like doctors, to heal our people through defining our culture. So when we see individuals like the Sabree brothers and their production coming out with an intentional design to address the culture, because and become doctors in it, very precise, doing surgical script writing in order to impart ideas, thoughts, influences into the hearts and the situation of children, different people that's not even conscious of it, but they're picking up these behaviors. That is what I see as the intention, especially in this drought and in this situation, being surgical masterminds in a good way, in order to address the concerns and the situations and the influences of positive and beautiful culture that uplifts the heart and the minds of the people. And just defining it, we have not had an opportunity to define our own culture. Like I said, our culture was just the kind of like the worst of our situation popularized. So can we now popularize the best of who we are? And so I think that is something very important to do during this drought, when that is not the direction that most people are going in.
Excellent. Alhamdulillah. Excellent. Thank you, Sister Kalimah, for that. Hakim, you want to add to that, or you're on mute? Go ahead.
Yes, but again, I really couldn't add much more to what you said. But I see something that that a lot of this is just a personal thing. Allah bless us, me and my brother, with this play. With this isn't to inflate anybody's ego. This is to Kalimah, because it's not just she's a good actress, but like she said, what she brings to it is like I said, all she knows is Imam Muhammad's language. No, she didn't have to. So that's just a pure vessel to come, and that's a sign for us to say, well, you're in the right direction. Go with it. So we've been, I can say this live on air. You have to probably give her consultant pay too. Not just actors pay, but that's not a big deal, because people, they hire consultants. But if we have a natural consultant already in our acting, group, then that's just a double blessing. Because sometimes they ask, how does that sound? Would this fit? Blah blah blah. Yeah. Oh, the man said that. Okay, so we, so it's a blessing that we have. And I keep going back to this, and people can. I hope they don't take it bad. I want to say, because everybody's edgy now. The Jews have rabbis that they talk to in Hollywood. The movies that you can't really understand fully, they talk to their rabbis and they tell them ABCD, and I appreciate that. Why not go back to your religion to ask them certain things? Why pretend they don't exist? If you have a rabbi, you have an imam that knows what's going on. Hey, how about this? Would this fit in there? So we're blessed with that. But I think, like you said, having the courage to be out there and compete, and knowing that Allah bless you with something special. And I think one of the biggest things that we have to make sure we do as writers, actors, directors, performing arts, dancers, whatever it is. Imam Muhammad said, righteousness, you're born with it. Your righteousness. To do right, to want to do right, to want to be good, to want to be honest, to want to be thrifty, to want to work. That's with you already. Like she said, they took the worst part and put it in front of us. Now our job is to bring us again to the public, but with the best part, and make it appealing. And see that we think that, that's kind of, that's going to be kind of hard, because if you ask most of the actors, they'll tell you the roles that they like more than the good guy are the bad guys. Here's why. Well, the bad guy has so much depth, and so much to look at, and so much to dig into, so much to research. He has so many levels. The good guy, because they think the good guy is just a guy just doesn't steal, money. But I'm like, if you study the movies and you study the good guy is the one that has the same challenges as the one that's quote unquote bad, but he doesn't take them. Now you're trying to ask yourself, well, how can he not go that route? How can he not go into fornication? How can he not go into thievery? How can he not go into stealing? How can he not go into murder? How does he do that? That's the good guy. Gary Cooper once said it. I'm not sure if all his roles were like that, but he said, director asked him, what do you really want from us? He said, just make sure you make me the good guy. And that's my motto. Make me the good guy. That bad guy stuff, they don't, but also I guess they don't study the prophet. If you study the prophet, there's so much there just how to keep your goodness and what that does. Little House on the Prairie, Charles Ingalls had so many principles of the prophet. If they paid attention to it, that was him. He didn't have to say, I'm a Christian man. Look at his principles. You know, study the principles of these writers. And yes, I love the old pictures. Yes, all the old stuff in the 30s and 40s. They have principles, leave it to Beaver, Father Knows Best, Make It for Daddy. All of my 3 sons, yes. Yes, they're all white, but they're all doing a good job in doing excellent principles that they put forth. We know what they should have been doing with us, and it didn't. Okay, but now it's out to hit. Here's the point. Since they didn't do it, like what was that? The Malcolm X said in Harlem. He said, "I got to do the right thing." No, he said, "Since you didn't do the right thing by my people, now I got to get up and do the right thing by you and them." So now it's our job to present the righteous, good, clean, intelligent African American group picture to the world, and compete, and have no fear when we compete.
That's great. And so I'm, as you were speaking, what was coming to mind for me is I imagine that this presentation of this goodness that you speak of, and this addressing culture from, or bringing I guess the opposite of that moral degradation that we see in the culture, sort of reviving the good spirit in the culture. As you were talking, I was thinking that that would resonate really well with the population of our community that's, older, more mature. And so I'm curious to know, is there a draw in this for our younger members of our community? Because when we talk about sort of changing the influence, right? And we talk about what is to come for the future, a lot of times we go, okay, well, it's great that we're presenting this to the whole, but we are looking to instill in our young people, for whatever we characterize those ages as, but we are looking to sort of motivate a newness in them to gravitate towards this goodness. And I'm wondering if there's a draw or a pull in this play for a younger population.
I would say yes, but it would be kind of slower than people would want. But that's also why, I can't mention it now, but there are other venues. So I'm just going to say that. So from the play, to reach more, as you said, the younger people, because a lot of older people, like you said, my brother keeps bringing up, sometimes I'm like, wow, the length of it. It's not even that long, but the way the culture is structured, most adults can't even sit through an hour of work. Now they could if it's being, what do you call it, binge watching, because it's like it cut off here and it starts here, it cuts off here. So, but for like an hour's work, most of our people can't even sit through that. Everything is like quick, fast. So the language and the focus of what the play is about is going to have to also carry their attention. And their attention usually goes toward, if they get excited about it, 9 times out of 10, they try to get their children excited about it. So it has to be, again, it has to go to how much we're appealing to what they need to hear. And what I think, because of the COVID, and most of the people are, locked away, whether they like it or not, or want to or not, even though they have, little gadgets that they talk on, people are thinking more. They don't tell you that, but people are thinking more. Even when you're stuck in your house, even if you think about trying to get out of here, you're thinking more, because now there's really not many places for you to go. So you're kind of thinking about what's out there, what's happening. And what's happening also is what the media is feeding them is basically repeats, reruns. It's the same movie done with a different character. Like I said, it's so bad that all you were doing is replacing white characters with black characters and women characters. Nothing's new. Puerto Rican Spider-Man, Black Spider-Man, Chinese Spider-Man, Indonesian Spider-Man. It's still Spider-Man. So they're saying, I don't have any ideas. After a while, kids are like, you know what? It's just Spider-Man. So when are you going to do something different? They're not going to tell you that, but they're waiting, as Kalimah said, they're really waiting for something different. They just don't tell you that. So when it comes out, they go, oh, that's different. That's different. So
in addition, go ahead, Hakim. I'm sorry.
No, I'm finished. Go ahead.
So, my mother used to take us to watch plays when we were younger. And even we would drive to Detroit from Chicago, a 6-hour drive, and we had to sit and watch Imam Muhammad and listen to his lectures. So I think sometimes we have created a culture when it comes to our younger generation of making everything have to come down to them instead of sometimes sitting that child in an environment where they have to come up to it. And even when I speak to imams and I say, look, Islam, we don't degrade the status of the religion to fit the lowest person. You have to up to it. We don't come in there rapping surahs because the young people like rap. Yeah, we finna rap the Quran. No, we don't do that. No, you're gonna learn how to recite it eloquently. No, we don't accept that. So I remember having to sit in lectures. I remember going to plays, and they were actually good. But my mother had me sit there. I am not a component of a child coming to Jumu'ah with a tablet. No, you're going to learn how to sit and listen to the Jumu'ah. You're not going to play with the tablet. So we have to start doing that again to help refine our children and bring back the concept of storytelling. We used to sit and listen to people tell stories, from a Nancy the Spider to all these different things. This is in our culture. We're allowing them to make a microwave culture, and our children are getting ADHD, all these other things, because we're not teaching them how to sit, how to be attentive, how to be thinkers, how to reflect, how to have these habits. And that's the beauty of theater. Theater is not a situation where you're going to come in and get a popcorn microwave situation, and then the movie's going to blow up, and then the scene is going to drop, and then this person's going to save this person, and before you can blink, it's a next action scene. No, this is theater. And we're bringing back that lost art of storytelling in a unique way where you have to sit and listen. The surahs that Muhammad the Prophet revealed were long. They had to sit, listen, and memorize it all in the same situation. So we're bringing that back. So and we have to encourage our young people to develop that skill set of sabr, develop that skill set of thinking, develop these are things that Allah put into the nature of the religion because it is a necessity for development of human to be able to be successful in society. And so the art of this theater environment is hopefully allowing that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, you make a beautiful point. Like as you're talking, I'm just like, you know what? I thank you for that reminder, because you make an excellent point. And that is so true that, it's the job is to elevate, right? For whatever that my question about the young population was, the job is to elevate and to bring them up rather than to cater. And so, I just wanted to say I appreciate your response to that, because that is what we should be doing. And you can count on me dragging my 3 children. You'll have at least 3 other participants or guests at the play, because they'll be with me. Those my little ducklings.
Now, we'll dazzle them with the art, right, Hakim? They'll look at the set and be like, "What's going on here?"
Yes, I want to add what Kalimah was saying. Yes, that's what I mentioned about when the parents get excited, like you said, they talk to the kids about it and try to get them excited. I remember we were growing up. We were blessed to early 70s. We got the tail end of early Hollywood, early television, when America was at its cultural, literary height in the performing arts. I believe. Mm-hmm. Our mother really never forced us to do anything except go to the temple and stuff like that. That was they had to do that, but. In the house, she would be cooking in the kitchen. She would have on Mystery Theater, the radio. We'd hear The Shadow, all those. We'd hear old shows because they came back from the 40s. They came back in the 70s for some reason, Mystery Theater, stuff like that. Then we watch mother watch old TV shows, black and white. So we our family kind of got when Hollywood and TV was at their height. Later on, it's like you said, unfortunately, the children now have microwave realities, and parents just put them in front because they don't want to deal with it. But, again, to elevate them to the status of where they have to come to, we have to be at that level of preparedness and give them something that they're like, oh, well, this is really interesting. I mean, again, you're not going to have all the children because that's just children. But if enough listen to it, hear it, get excited about it, you start to, change it. And again, the play is just one area. I realized about looking at, again, studying different movies and such, different venues you have to have for different areas of people's interests, So, and we've taken that into consideration, and that's what we're doing. We're not just having one reality. We can't mention exactly what it is, but that is a reality. I do remember Mama yesterday saying, like, the children come into the world thinking, trying to grasp and get a higher understanding of things, and we kind of present the baby talk and kind of dumb them down instead of speaking to them like real humans and bringing them up. So inshallah, the play will do that. It'll start that. I think that's going to be a catalyst for because all really has to happen is what I notice about, again, anything in the culture. Once it gets enough spark or light, everybody and their father starts to copy it. That's good and bad. Copy the principle. Don't copy them. That's why they had when the Matrix came out. Everybody and their father was, everybody was, dodging. Come on, Neo did it already. Do something different. Every rap sounds the same. Everybody's Michael Jackson. Do something different. But the commercial art world, because it's safe and easy, they do that until something new comes along. So inshallah, will be that thing that's new coming along, and I think because of our the pressure that we have. That's another thing too. We have the pressure of our community as Muslims on us, and African Americans on us. I don't want to be known as just a Muslim artist. Muslim African American, I don't, I know I read about different IDMBs and they say the American artist. No, I'm an American, yes, but I'm Muslim African American artist. Not just Muslim American, Muslim African American. So to me, it's it's important for them to know, that we're still with the African American family, and we're still Muslim, and we have a unique contribution to even showing Muslims this is how it's done in the performing arts. So I used to be, well, if I have more time, I'll talk about what I used to do as a dancer, but that's not the story.
Excellent. This is excellent dialogue. It is time to interject a question from the audience. Quick question for the audience. So if you have any more questions, audience members, please put them in. So we do have a question from Sister Hakim Sabree. Assalamu alaikum. She says, will the play present an attraction to the African-American population as a whole, or just the African-American Muslim population exclusively?
It'll both. It'll attract both because of the way it's written and because of the focus, as Sister Kalimah mentioned, because of the way it's written and focused, it'll attract both. And this is when I said earlier, the people in Hollywood, because Hollywood was started by the Jews, which is, that's what it was. That's what it is. They knew how to talk the language of the people without beating them over the head with religion. I'll put it that way. And that's been a problem with Muslims, especially our immigrant brothers and sisters. And I even see some of us who kind of listen to that influence because we get afraid to present our African American reality to the people, influenced by our religion. So we don't know how to present, like, some rappers, Muslim rappers, African American. You just can't compete because what you're doing is really beating the people over the head with religious lingo. Allah's, Shahada, Ramadan, okay. But where's a different focus? There's no insight. There's no, everybody has wordplay, but there's no insight into it. There's no insight into bringing a point or a focus about our reality and telling people it's a solution to get into another level. So to answer this question, we always think about our people. Always. Minister Malcolm said, "You'll never find me with 15 minutes to spare without thinking or having the thought of my people on my mind." I grew up like this. I don't know anything else but this. I'm speaking for myself. I grew up Nation of Islam. All I know is Islam and African Americans, meaning as my focus, as my reality. So there's no separation of the two for me. Allah created me both. We have to understand that too. It wasn't, I'm Muslim, but I just happen to be. No, I'm Muslim and African American. That didn't just happen to be African American. No, that's the way Allah wanted me. He wanted me here as an African American because we have something to contribute, and we made a covenant with God. Our four parents made a covenant with Allah that if that they will stay true to the original human form, the original human nature, no matter how bad it got. Just allow the future to return to their original nature, al-Islam. The covenant. And the covenant is as long as we stay true to that original form. So that's a nice pressure on us, me and my brother, Sabree brothers, that we have to stay true to what we came up with and what we're supposed to be doing, and following in the logic of even first the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, Imam Muhammad said, if I could describe my father in one sentence, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he wanted to see dignity for his people. So that's what we're out here doing. We can't put anything out if it doesn't dignify our people, and the most dignified way to put it out is with the lens and understanding and the context of al-Islam, as taught by the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
I want to add to what you just said, and answer this question as well. I think it's going to even attract other people, not just African Americans or African American Muslims. I think that the world of theater, to see and have this particular type of play, they may not tell you they watching it, but they gonna be watching it. Yeah. I can guarantee you that. They may not say, "Oh, I'm going to see the Prince of Light." They're gonna be like, "Sweetheart, we're gonna watch the whole of the night, so just be prepared."
Oh yeah, I mean, yes, I say that too. Yes, I mean, definitely we know it's going to be, others. And that's kind of how it always is. Others see your value before your people see your value, but that's okay. But like we said, we do want to influence that because, I also want to see them get back to where they used to be. Like I said, I love those old movies back in the 50s, 40s. I don't have a problem with them. Even up to the 70s, they lost that. And there's once in a blue moon they have something special. But I want to see that. Like Allah said, I created you different so you can learn from each other. So I want to see them. That's why I said I don't want to see a Chinese Spider-Man. Spider-Man's white already. Peter Parker, that's Spider-Man. Bruce Banner's the Hulk. That's it. Christopher Reeve. Superman came down in the image of a white man. That's Val Zod and Black Superman. No, it's just not it. They've done theirs already. What's your contribution, like she said, to show them, oh, wow, where did they come up with that idea? I didn't see that. I mean, they looked at Bass Reeves and came up with the Lone Ranger. I'm not mad at them. You took Bass Reeves, an African American who's like one of the top marshals in the West. I like to see myself in that. So I'll make a white guy, the Lone Ranger. What's the problem? I don't care if you took the idea from Phantom Light and did something with it in your own culture, but just do it. Take the principle of it, because it's there to reignite even your own dilemmas where you're stuck at. This will teach you how to do scripture or understand scripture better. It'll help you understand cultural improvement better. It'll also tell you. It'll give you courage to do what you thought you couldn't do. I'll put it that way. It'll give you courage to allow you to do what you thought you couldn't do, because the world is saying this is how it's supposed to be done. And you're going to say, you know what, but they did that. So I'm going to try that. And pretty soon, it'll be, done and cookie cut and whatever. You got to come with something different. But, but we have so many ideas, it's ridiculous. We have books of ideas. It's not even, so we're not even worried about running out of ideas. We're not worried about it. And they're all different.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. And so I know that we're probably going to be bringing this conversation to a close soon, but I'm the type of person where I'm like, was this fun to do? Like, I want to know that kind of stuff. Like, were there any like times in this process where you were just like, this is wild, or maybe you were stressed about it? Like, how is this going to come to be? What was just that creative process like?
You go ahead first, ladies first.
That's so when I first read the script or the concept, and we're trying not to give it away, but this concept, like you said, we're in a realm between sleep, dream world, and reality, where anything can be possible. So now you're looking at like, oh, this is wow. And now you have to convey it and bring it to life. So we're used to dramas as African Americans. Our go-to is a drama play. Oh, it is, I personally, when I come home from a long day, I used to be a child counselor at a psychiatric hospital. I hated dramas. Don't bring me no drama. I done seen it all in real life at the hospital today. I done heard about this mama slapping this mom. I want a drama. I want to watch science fiction. I want to watch fantasy. Give me something else than drama. So, but now we have to take this and we have to make it believable. We have to bring it to the people in a way where it's not like, because our people is we're critics. Our people is the worst critics. So now you have to bring it to them in a way that's not like, what's that they doing? You gotta give it to them like, oh, okay. So it's always challenging your artistry. It's challenging how I have to say the thing, the look, what my outfit has to look like, or and so that's always fun to sit back and work with the Sabree brothers and say, okay, look, man, how are we gonna get this across? Or you think they're gonna accept or believe that? And then I get to be, I don't care if they do it. It's what they're gonna get it. So it's fun working with them. And then at the end of each session, it's always a wow of concepts and ideas. We're talking about what the world is going through. So after we rehearse, it's just good being in the company of good Muslims that have the same background, come from the same experience as you, have the same sentiments, and study the same language as you. So we'll come before we get started. I got a question. Hakim, what you think about this? Or it has nothing to do with the play. So just being in that environment, working with people is beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, it's fun. Like you said, you can work with your own, and you don't have to, what do you call it? Limit yourself or secure yourself. And so I can't say that, I can't mention that. And it's good to get a lot of feedback from the person, and even just give input or just say things about my history. Oh, that's a similar history. It's a similar situation, and have the same kind of mindset on certain a lot of issues. So everything we did, we always had fun because, like I said, we just like doing it. We just, from how we used to just see it on the screen, me and my brother, we just wanted to do that, and bringing it into fruition. It's I got I said the hardest part is the writing, the rewriting. That's the hardest, because you're like she said, they're critics, but you're kind of your worst critic. Like, they're not gonna, so you have to bounce it off certain people. What do you think about that? Yeah, that works, So that's like the hardest part is the writing, the rewriting. But like I said, to hear it, my brother always says, on the paper it sounds one way, but when they start to speak it, and it's like, oh, either it sounds better or like, you got to stop doing that. So I think that's part of the fun, bringing it to life. And then when you put the costumes on, that really like, oh man, that really does something to you. Like, oh man, we just don't want to be like, no offense to the method actors, but we don't want to be like the method actors who, have to think they have to, they follow the Stanislavski reality of the method actor of becoming the actual character. You have to become that. Don't call me so and so. I am the Greens. Calm down, bro. It's just a costume. Put it on, put it off. I'm still Hakim Sabree. All that stuff about, you're playing Napoleon. You're not Napoleon. You're just, wherever you are. So, the costume helps get you into that, feeling, So I think once we get to where we can get to where we're physically both in the same spot, all of us in the same spot, it's going to take off faster. Now it's just the memorization part. I think it's going to be, I'll end with this. I got a chance to see Avery Brooks do a one-man show, Paul Robeson. And I think he spoke for it was 2 parts. He was on stage for a half hour just talking. And after it was over, I got outside to ask him. The only question I can ask is, how did you remember all that? That's what everyone else, how did you remember all that? That's like, there's nobody there but you. Just remember, he said it takes time. So but it's after a while you start to come up with different methods. But the hardest thing is you remember your lines. You never want to forget your lines. That's the only thing the actors remember your lines. So that's what we mean.
That's right. And like Hakim said, when you put on those costumes, you become a different person. I don't wear glasses, y'all. But these are fake glasses. I put them on so that when I put them on today, I can feel a little bit more in character as we talk about this. So everything helps. So I can feel a little bit more in character. So I have my glasses on so that I can be a little bit more studious as we discuss this particular topic.
Yeah, voices. She said different characters, voices. I'm working with different voices. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. That's another challenge, which is, because I'm studying this one artist, activist. Hopefully, I can get it right, but he sounds like another actor. And I was like, but there's a little nuance that I'm like, I got to get that way if I don't want it to sound like this way. But that's a nice challenge to say, can I sound like this person? We'll see what happens, inshallah. But that's another, fun challenge. I guess to get his different roles is like a nice challenge. The excitement about the actual role. And like I said, she asked different questions about what is the person like here, because she actually plays a variety. You'll see. I'm not going to that. She plays more than one thing.
But I've had fun going through the different voices that Hakim has tried to use to define his character. It's always great. I do it like this. How about like this? So we enjoy each other as we do this as well.
No, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun while on set, while in production. It is an unorthodox time to be doing plays and production like this. Especially when it's small. And people are spread out. It's kind of hard to do that. It is a challenge to do that, but nevertheless, that you all are getting it done, and it will be hitting the box office, if you would, in the community sooner than later, inshallah, God willing. Sister Marquita Sabree asked, is there a plan to do a part 2 of this film? I know we're thinking far ahead, but is there any thought about making this into a multiple series film play? Like a multiple part 2, part 3, part 4.
Play, no.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. Play, no.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. I don't think we have any questions. So, this has been a great conversation with you both, and we're definitely looking forward to the play, and supporting the play in any facet that we can to make sure that it is a success. Because that is what we all should be doing, is helping each other and the race towards all that is good. And this is healthy. This is really healthy for us as a people. It's healthy entertainment that will spark some thought and also get people excited to see something different than what's being offered on the main box office, and that we should bring our children, our nieces and nephews, our grandchildren to a play, because they may not be exposed to a play. It'd be a great time to expose them to what a play is like. That's a form of education, and it's a form of education that gives, and sometimes you have to, like I think Sister Kalimah said, about Islam, you can't dumb it down, and sometimes what we have to do as parents or as adults is not force them, but you have to bring it to them. You have to bring them to the play. You have to bring them to the opera. You got to bring them to learn how to play golf and some of these other sports or these other activities that they say we don't do. We don't show up. We're not there. You know, basketball, football, that's our thing. Rap, that's our thing. You know, but what about these other genres? You know, these other areas of expertise that everyone else is getting into but us. You know, there's a lack of representation of us in those other areas. So in this play, we look forward to seeing the play. Again, the play is called Behold the Phantom Light. It will be hitting theaters in the box office and the various places that we can hit it. Inshallah, God willing, during Africa August of this year. We're excited for it. Again, it's produced by the Sabree brothers, LLC, brother Hakim Sabree, his brother Mustafa Sabree, and the rest of the team. The actors, the actresses. We have Sister Kalimah, who's a scholar, who's been an actress since day one, and also a scholar in the books of Al-Islam, and our beloved leader, Imam Warfadi Muhammad. So this is what he wanted. So let us support it. And you heard it first here on New Freedom Exchange. This is exclusive. So please, please, please support the film, the play rather, and we'll see you at opening day, God willing.
Yes,
Sister Marcia?
I'm just reminded from this conversation that we all have a role in serving as Khalifa, right, in this world. And so a lot of times when people think about this leadership role in the world, it brings your mind to, okay, well, I have to influence the society in a way that I'm like directly giving al-Islam to people, and that always, at least for me, it makes your mind go to like, education and books and classes and things like that. And so this conversation has me excited about seeing that same role played out in a play, right? In a cultural way, through art, and the fact that we can use it to also serve in that role. So you all did a great job in like keeping the mystery about what the play is about, and I'm excited because I'm just like, yeah, right, yeah. Y'all did that good voodoo, because I was just like, okay, but I still don't know, and now I want more, and I want to be there because I want to know how this all plays out. So you all did a really, really good job in keeping the mystery and keeping us on the edge of our seats, and like saying, well, when it comes out, I want to be there because I want to know what all the hype was about. So much success to you all. I'm excited. I'll be making dua. I'll be making dua for the success for sure.
Thank you. I just want to just quickly say, yes, if
Yes.
I have time.
No, you still have time for your closing remarks, Brother Hakim.
Well, I'll let her go first because I don't want to ramble, just in case I ramble too long.
Hakim is so kind, right? Alhamdulillah. No, I'm excited to help define our culture, be a doctor and a doc in defining our culture in different ways. And it's almost like, in a sense, to be a balal, to call the world back to the remembrance of Allah, as he is the one who called the adhan, but doing it through the culture. So using our influence in the culture to call the world back to the remembrance of Allah is exciting. And so also just encouraging others to do the same in whatever Allah has turned you. He said to each of us, he's given a disposition. He's given us how we are, the things that we like, the things that we're good at, people's gifts that we have. Allah gave them to you. So to be able to use them in service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is such a beautiful thing. and to use it to bring the world back to his remembrance. So I'm excited to use my acting skills. I'm glad I came in character with my good old glasses to feel a certain way, and to be here with you all in character, preparing for Behold the Phantom Light.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. Hakim?
Yes, I just want to say it's again it's a pleasure. Thank you for having us here. June we should have again, like I said, Allah's blessed us to keep it within our Muslim African American and African American family. We have I think by June, inshallah, depending on where we're at, we're going to have the actual
trailer
poster for the actual play.
Poster, got it.
And there's a brother we're working with. Man, his brother's. I mean, his art is like. Well, I don't know if anybody on here is like knows art. There's an artist out in comics called Alex Ross. Phenomenal, Caucasian man, excellent. If you see his artwork, go up and look at it. Alex Ross. There's a brother we're working with. Want to work with. He has just as much talent. African American. His mind is. We went to the same high school we went to. We didn't know that. We ran into him at a Black Comic convention. So Allah's blessing us to work with our people. And that's the exciting thing to me. Like Imam Muhammad said, we don't have to go out to find. You know, I work with my high school friends. My friend Drew the Cosmo stuff. My best friend, Richard Carroll. It's just the love I get from just working with your own. It's just exciting. That's exciting to me. So I think by June, inshallah, if you can have us back here in June, we can have a little bit more to tell about the actual play. The more we get closer to it, you know, it's you know, Allah bless us to have the funding for it, which it's a lot of money to do that play. But it's good though, because you raise it yourself. You know, you work on yourself and stuff. But you have friends that work with you to do work for you, where it would cost you like billions of dollars or millions of dollars to do. They do it for because they love you and they respect you. And as she said about being Bilal, one thing we have to remember about Bilal too. Not only did he call people to prayer, but if you want to be a Bilal, you have to be trustworthy. How do you mean? Bilal was put over the economy of Mecca. So people forgot about that. I'm not saying she did. I'm saying you don't put anybody over the money. Bilal was known as a trustworthy person. Yes, he called people to prayer, which is very important. Called people back to the reality of musical nature, but you could trust Bilal. So if you're pushing Bilal, can I trust you to be like Bilal? Can I trust you? So we want to be trustworthy. We want our plays and our writings to be you can trust. You can come to our places of cultural expression and be renewed, rejuvenated, and not be offended. And I don't mean we're not going to say things that you don't have problems with. I'm saying we're going to express the best about nature, but you're supposed to be able to trust the people that are giving you their culture, and the expression they're giving to you. So performing arts is a trusted vessel. And again, I want to end with I have to stress this. That's what Sister Marsha was saying. I'm just putting these words: work in your place. Whatever Allah bless you with, that's how you're supposed to do it. If you're a man, everyone's not going to be any man teaching. Everyone's not going to be that good. That's just the way it is. Whatever you are, be that. You don't have to be a preacher, a teacher, if that's not you. Whatever Allah bless you with, women, men, do that. Allah will bless you. You'll have fun doing it. You'll be excited about doing it. It won't be like, oh, I got to get up. It'll be exciting. Like I said, if I could do this for free, not that I'm going to do it for free, I would do this. Because I work for New York City Transit. If I could do this until I pass, I'm in my paradise. I'm in my garden. I'm excited. That's just me. So work in your own garden. Work in your own garden, inshallah. So thank you again for having us to be on the show. Sister Marsha, with the Bilal, with the Dean. Inshallah, we'll be back Tuesday. Tuesday.
That's right around the corner, huh?
Hey, you guys have much. In June, and inshallah, right before, I guess maybe try to have a week before the actual play.
Yes,
and
sir.
definitely, as of right now, y'all have the first review after the play. We want to see that too, what y'all thought about the actual play. Have us on after the play is over and talk about that. got to get back. Y'all have us on the play. Our community, so we have no problem with that at all either.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we thank again, Brother Hakim Sabree, Sister Kalimah Azeez Rashada, for joining us here on this beautiful Saturday evening to talk about the play Behold the Phantom Light, which will be hitting the market for everyone to see, God willing, inshallah, in the month of New Africa, August. And also we'll be having them back in June to talk a little bit about the play, a little prelude to the August debut, a little teaser, a little appetizer before the main course, which will be in August. So we encourage everyone to stay tuned for that. Follow the Sabree brothers. Hakim, do you guys have a social media for the play yet?
No, not yet. We had to basically start anew, but when we have it up, we'll let you know. Definitely, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Definitely, for sure, because we want to share that and let the people know where they can go see also updates about the play as well on your socials.
Yes,
so we thank you. So thank you both for coming on. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, share. If you missed it tonight, you go back and watch the replay after we sign off. And also, please subscribe to the our YouTube channel, New Freedom Exchange, New Freedom Network, and also like our pages as well, New Freedom Exchange, New Freedom Network. There's some announcements. So tomorrow, Sunday, I will be a guest on Words Make People, Imam Mikhail Sahir. We will be talking about the 60 years of our Pulse, the Muslim Journal, and the future. We'll be discussing the future of the Muslim Journal, but also just the future of African-American Muslim journalism, independent journalism, and what does that mean? So Sister Aisha K. Mustafa will be with us as well, and I'll be joining her tomorrow, and that's from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Blog Talk Radio. Imam Michael Sahir, who will be joining us next week. Next week, we have double booked. Saturday, we'll be coming back here to continue our last show for the month of February, for New Freedom February, with the MSA National and also representation from the HBCU MSAs. Will be coming on to have a spirited conversation in regards to being Muslim at HBCU. What does that mean? What does that look like? Discussing all of those, that whole culture, or that whole expression. So that will be a very spirited conversation. And also that next Sunday, we will have our Word of Life coming together around the Word of Life show, which is our new segment with the members of the folklore community. Where we come on, we discuss the Word of Life, as they call it, from their scripture, which is the Bible, the New Testament, and then we respond with the Muslim version, the Muslim Word of Life, which is from Quran, and we connect those two scriptures together. We give an analysis of the situation. So you could see we'll be discussing my response to the folklore Word of Life, which is in the Muslim Journal as well, the Muslim Word of Life. You can read that, and then that will be the basis of our conversation on next Sunday, also at 7:00, and Saturday shows also at 7:00 as well. Sister Marcia, do you have any updates before we peace out?
None that I can think of at the moment, but
the Model Master Project.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Project.
So we do have the Model Masjid Project. We will be presenting that on Monday at 6:30.
Yes, I think it's 6:30.
Okay, Monday at 6:30. And so for those of you who don't know, the Model Masjid Project is an initiative of New Freedom Works. Mm-hmm. That's also something that we spearhead, our team spearheads. And the mission of the Model Masjid Project is to help the masjids to get to a point of effective operations. And so we have modules where we discuss their organizational structure, their leadership structure, their education structure, their cultural structure, and the goal is to get the masjids to the point of optimal functioning so that we can do our work in this world. And we will be presenting that on Monday at 6:30. The idea is that masjids that are interested in being participants in this project and going through this learning period and having resources wrapped around them and get connected to those who have expertise in some of the areas where they need assistance, that they, go watch this presentation, learn more about the project, and sign on to participate in order to improve their situations in their institution. So look out for that on Monday at 6:30, New Freedom Network.
Yes, yes, that's the most important work. It's a very important project that we're embarking on. So, inshallah, the masjids, please sign up. I'll come to hear first what it's about, and then, inshallah, sign up for the cohort, which will be starting in the month of April, God willing, inshallah, the month of Ramadan. With that being said, thank you all for watching and tuning in. Until next time, peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Really emotional, man. Bravo, I appreciate you, man. Mac, I appreciate you, man. Davey, what's up, man? It's our time, man. Jesse Jackson, he said that we are somebody. America treat us like we ain't nobody. We need help from somebody. I'm getting tired of seeing black bodies. We'll be okay, that's what my mama said. We unhealed, that's what the trauma said. Yes, we can. That's what Obama said. American terror. That's what Osama said. You want to break something, go and break the ceiling. You want to start something, go and start the healing. How you want to raise hell but won't raise your children? Want to burn the building but won't start building. I want the violence to decrease, whether it's the streets or it's the police. Yo, be a real one. Stay away from snakes. I gotta make a change, no time to waste.
Tell me what you see when you look at me. Is it something that you hate, or something that you wanna be? Help me understand how you can be so mad at my existence. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom.
The system ain't broken, doing what it's supposed to do, realest words spoken. Kill us in live and live in color, brother choking, called on his mother, dead in the open. Anybody go and break some glass. It take a real one, bro, to give a class. Anyone can pull a gun and start to blast, but it takes a real man to give a pass. Be proactive, not reactive. How I make a change, Bashir? Be active. Boy, you'll go and sell some dope, but won't go and vote. Father left early, he don't know how to cope. I came too far, boy can't fail. They said I'm a sellout, shit, what I sell? I don't never fold, I don't never fold. And what's not for sale, brother, is my soul. A question you gotta answer, brother, what's your goal? You wanna be a diamond or stay cold? You gotta change the system. Shit, you can break a window, but they gon' fix them. My point is, you expect a racist to change? He ain't the problem. You gotta change your brain. Benefit from oppression, but when you gonna change and learn the lesson? When you gonna realize that you a blessing? Gotta work in the afterlife, I'll do my resting. When you gonna realize that you the blessing? Gotta work in the afterlife, I'll do my resting. It's the truth.
Freedom is not won by a passive acceptance of suffering. Freedom is won by a struggle against suffering. Racial understanding is not something that we find, but something that we must create. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against.
Hello, assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.